Greetings, welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial. Follow me. Alright, for cages and stuff that would be in the bottom floor, because I chose to put the the food and water storage along the sides of the bottom deck, I put the pens basically in the middle, and they're split down the middle, and this walkway kind of goes over the split like so. So that's how I decided to do my bottom pens. You could do, I have an alternative sort of example of how to do the pens like they are on the upper floors on the outside, and some interesting sort of alterations like that. But for now, the pens underneath, I decided to put on the middle, in the middle. Now, this is a unique pen, sort of for, I don't know, wet environment animals. I figure on the bottom floor you have sort of this clay bricking or something. You could just put maybe sort of a sealed wet environment, have a little pool for it to splash in or something, and didn't need a normal feeder because I was thinking something like alligators or stuff like that. You can, you know, throw stuff into them. They can be here. But for a normal pen, it's something like this, where you'd have, again, the feeders or troughs along here, plus possibly the water feeder here that can be filled up from there. Oh yeah, and because it's the bottom floor, I can actually break the blocks and not, and normally if you did that, you'd see, like, again, you'd be like breaking one of these, you'd see right through to the floor beneath. But because we don't have that problem, we can just use the hay blocks, the hay bale blocks here, to put almost like kind of straw on the floor where we couldn't on the upper floor as well. So that's something we can do here. We can, and of course the leaf litter scattered about. All right, we're going to build our kind of lower deck pen opposite the one that I showed you there. So we're going to do our 2-high wall of fence posts here, and we'll do that to the middle here. And you can do, again, these vertical posts if you want here. I've been experimenting with them. My original Ark builds didn't have it, but I'm thinking it might make it a bit more interesting looking having these kind of posts here. And I typically consider the animals maybe in the bottom of the Ark to maybe be bigger and stronger, so maybe this type of reinforcement helps again reinforce the pens themselves for the animals. Oh yeah, and we have to connect this as well here under the walkway. The walkway already exists, but you can imagine kind of building that with your spruce trapdoors and then your oak trapdoors for your railings here. And what we will be popping out this thing here, because that's where we're going to put our feeders. Oh yeah, for the floor, again, you can break out some blocks here and put some random spots here that you can put the maybe even like that. You can put, yeah, so that, and then leaf litter, lots of leaf litter around. Yeah, that sort of looks good like that. And we're going to put our feeders here, and a bamboo shoot on top, and a flower pot. Then our mangrove trapdoor here, and we'll put on the edges our feeders here. Now we can do, there's an alternative way you could do this using hay bales and clear trapdoors like so. And then, so animals that would eat fodder or hay, you can put like that. But for other animals that might not be, like, they might not eat things like hay, you can put feeder like that. So you can again mix and match as needed with whatever your animal that you're holding. Again, we have our split versions of the pens. So here I have the two sort of versions that you can have. I have the different feeders depending on what type of animal you have. I have sort of a generic composter for sort of generic food holder, and then have the hay bales for like for fodder or stuff like that, and the again the clay sort of water feeder in the middle. But yeah, it's just a matter of putting again a center fence in the middle, separating the two, and then you have your split, and so you can have twice the amount of animals in one spot. Build a split pen. Again, you need to put the 2-high wall on the outer side here like so, separating the two sections, but then you also have the 2-high wall in the middle. So we'll bring that to the front, and again we'll do the vertical post because I'm sort of experimenting with that with the bottom part of my Ark. Then we'll put the sides in here, and we'll finish off with our fence gates in the middle. Again, remember, leaf litter, and we'll replace some of our make sure the top of the posts or top of the bales are facing upward, so that it doesn't look like you're just having like a string on it or something like that. It doesn't look quite right. So we'll put that back in like that, and like so. Again, leaf litter scattered about, lots of leaf litter. And then for the feeders, we're going to put our them in the center here. Same on this side. Break that out. We'll put on our bamboo shoots here on top of here, and put our flower pots on top to cap that off. And our mangrove trapdoors for the tray. And then we can put alternatively our composters for feeders, or our hay bales, and then combine that with our spruce trapdoors. And we have, again, we have our two types of feeders depending on what animals in the pen. All right, so that's how you do the split version of the pens. Related feature to the pens that I put in the bottom floor, I have this sort of like, I don't know, we call it a trough or something on the bottom floor, and I put it next to kind of the wet animal stuff, but it wasn't necessarily just for that. But I was thinking any stuff that drains out to the bottom of the ship needs somewhere to go. If any liquid gets in, or I don't know, some refuse from the animals, you can either shovel in here or it drains into here. And I have a little walkway over that. You can make this slightly narrower, possibly. I have it like a 2 wide one, and then have it like this. But we'll take a quick look at how to make that. First I'll grab the parts here. So I just used, like, again, the mud and the mangrove root, muddy mangrove root. And oh yeah, I'll also need the that and that. So this will be what you'll need. So pretty simple. If you built the ark based off of my earlier tutorial, you should be able to dig down here 2 blocks worth. Then you'll see, again, you'll see the logs of the outer hull here. And then on the bottom layer, you will put a layer of this mud. And then you can randomly kind of replace different spots with the mangrove root to kind of, I don't know, put like debris and stuff down here. And I don't know if it works to put it on its side to make it randomized a bit, something like that. Just to kind of make it all look a bit messy. So once you have that, then you can put your bridge across. You can do this various different ways. I kind of like sort of having this one with the fence post railings on the side. So you do it like that, and then you just simply connect the 2 sides with the railings. So that way you have sort of lattice work, so stuff can flow in easily, but you can walk over them. Again, maybe if you wanted to do like a narrower one, you could, because this is, I think, only really for people to access, but I typically like to have like a 3x3 available for the walkway, although you kind of have that with like almost half a block of space with the fences on either side. So whatever you think would work better for your build. And again, the middle here is where we access the walkway that, at least on my ship, runs down the center directly beneath the sunwell. For an alternate arrangement for the pens on the lower deck, we could do the same sort of thing where the hallway is in line with the other sort of walkways on the upper decks. And so like above, the pens would be on the outer side of the hull toward the outside. And then you'd have the same sort of arrangement with the 2 high fence, the walkway and the feeders. But the only thing is you have this sort of sloped part at the back. If you can imagine in real life, this would be sort of more maybe a curved slope, possibly. That could be an issue for animals tripping on them and then possibly injuring themselves, unless maybe you put a shelf here or something. So maybe that's an argument for keeping that for storage, and then doing like I did before, where the pens are on the inside with the walkway in the middle. The other thing you could do is, because you don't have the gap for the skylight or the sunlight from above, you can put pens here, although I don't know if there's more of a problem with things falling down on the animals. So it's a possibility. The other thing is I have this sort of like, I don't know, manure / waste bunker here. Things can be either thrown down into it or brought over and dumped into it, just as a place to store it for now. Maybe it could be taken from here and, I don't know, wheeled up the ramps and dumped over the into the moon pools if you have that in your construction, or it could just be left here. But it's another sort of use of the space down below. But yeah, and so you have the single and the double pen here, or the pens in the middle, again for alternative arrangement of pens on the bottom deck. Here we have my versions of the living quarters for the people on board the Ark, which would have been Noah, his 3 sons, and their wives. So I have 4 living quarters, one for each sort of family. And again, 1 quarter living quarters takes up 1 full section here. And also in the middle, at least for my arrangement, I have sort of a commons area where they could get together and, you know, relax and talk and eat and who knows what. But yeah, this is a sort of their living space that I put on the upper deck. It's pretty, I know, simple. I meant to, it's sort of aerated here where there's like openings to allow air and light to get in. There's sort of a curtain for the doorway. Inside, again, they have this sort of reclining couch here. We have the bed tucked into the corner here. We have various, like, you know, chairs and desks and tables and books, whatever you would need for kind of a long year in this boat. Again, I don't think they knew how long they were going to be there, but probably expected for a long time. So again, made this as so cozy as they could. Let's build one of the living quarters like we did over there. So I'll show you how I did these ones. So first things first, you can have the sort of door in the middle. So you're going to put these posts all the way up and down the middle. We're actually going to knock out these supports on these 3 walls. We're going to put a pillar post across like this of the spruce logs. All right, we're actually going to build a beam across here with these spruce logs, and then from the center we're going to come down here, and up against the wall here we're going to put in some spruce plank walls here, or spruce plank blocks here, and we'll put some of those in the bottom of here as well. So you have, again, the spruce blocks here and here and in here. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to fill in the gap here with fence posts. That's sort of a gap to let, again, airflow and stuff through there. And then we're going to put one above here and then another beam across like so. So we have like a, you know, an H here where the door is going to be. And then in the front, we're going to put the these shelf things on the outside like that, and then we're going to take our put our oak trap doors here, and we'll want to put 2 more up there. So the oak trap doors here again, then we close them up so we have sort of, again, that for the front. Then what we're going to do is we're going to actually build a couch area all the way over to here, and here we're going to leave space for a sort of a desk thing as here. For here we're going to put 2 beds like so. For the back we're going to take some snow blocks here and put them up to the level of the bed like that. So we have sort of a working bed here. Then we're going to turn back here. We're going to take a a spruce trapdoor and put it like that. We're going to do that so we can hang a curtain here. We're going to use a banner that I've designed like a curtain. We're going to put it here, and then we're going to put some curtains there and like so, and then we have some privacy here. If you wanted to do it in survival mode, you could put sort of these here and then hang the curtains from them. Or what I like to do, because I'm doing mine in creative mode, is I put barrier blocks there, which I can place there. But here, I guess you can actually walk in. You know what? Actually, to finish this off, we're actually going to put spruce trapdoors in here, so you can come in and out from here easily. Then we're going to go here. We're going to set up our sort of note blocks in here to be like sort of an end desk to that. And then you could even put, I don't know, some sort of desk here, sort of like that, and maybe a chest like so. We're gonna put some carpet down here and carpet down around this couch here, maybe something like that. And we're hanging a lantern here to give light to the room. We could maybe put maybe not near the curtain. Oh, there's curtains on either side. We'll put candles here, and we'll light them here, so some candlelight possibly. The other thing I like to do on the front here, we're going to put these sort of wood, spruce wood buttons on the end, sort of almost like, I don't know, wooden stakes or pegs into the wood, holding things together. And so what we're going to do now, and maybe put like a, I don't know, wouldn't be a coffee table, but some sort of little table around their seating area, and we'll put maybe a little chair here for them to sit on by the desk. Or you know what, I'm going to put it down the back one so we can put sign on the side. So someone sits next to that. What would probably be better, actually, we'll move that here. We'll put the chair like so, and we probably do want a chest here. We could just maybe plop it in this corner like that. You come in, you have a little desk there, you have a little service desk here or counter, and yeah, you have your seating area and your sleeping area, and you know, if you want to read by candlelight or something, and this is whatever belongings you kept with you, yeah, and light. So a nice little cozy living area. And again, you can decorate up the arrangement however you like, but this is sort of the general pattern I use for all of my living quarters on the Ark. All right, now we're going to try the commons area, and for that we'll go over to this side, and we'll do sort of a similar thing like we did in the living quarters. Put a beam down here, except it'll be flush against the wall and not sticking out one. And we'll leave the front open. What we'll do for the sides, a similar thing, because they're adjacent to the rooms, we'll have the beams like this, and then underneath would be the oak, or sorry, this, I keep saying oak. The spruce blocks will be here on the bottom, like so, and we'll put them along the bottom here. We're going to do on top of those, we're going to have shelves like this, and on top of those, to act sort of like cupboards, we'll have the barrels here, so they have a place to store, I don't know, rolls and things, and sort of cupboards for other things they may need, I don't know, like cups and plates, wooden bowls, things like that. We're going to put a sort of a couch, a reclining couch that expands all across, all around the perimeter of this area. We're going to put you could use mangrove, but I like sort of almost feeling like it's the same color as the wood here, like it's all kind of enclosing the this couch area. In the middle, we're going to have a sort of a little table, low table. Again, kind of ancient Middle Eastern sort of style of things, not necessarily to sit up at a table, but you recline on a couch and you have a low sort of table type thing. So I kept that sort of idea. We can put in our buttons here, the different points of the build. Oh yeah, and we also want to put in the fence posts here, again, because these will be next to the living quarters, so between them, so allows kind of airflow and whatnot through there. And we'll put on our carpet that goes around here like that. Oh yeah, and our lantern up there. Yeah. Again, now you have your little living, not living quarters, your commons area. I would call the commons. So again, they can come and do whatever they need to while they're spending their days waiting. Here we have like 3 what I call utility rooms for the people living on the Ark. These aren't living quarters, but they're rooms that they might find useful for doing stuff. I have sort of, here is like what I call the kitchen. It's got all, or the pantry, it's got all your kind of food stores and water and things they would need. Little table here, and I don't know if they have some plants which are growing to kind of provide some food on the go as they are traveling. But it's meant to be sort of a nice little sort of place where they can store and prepare their food. On this side, I have a little workshop in case they need to, I don't know, fix or repair things, and a little of kiln here with a little smokestack up there. Yeah, some sort of workstation they could do different stuff in. The other side, I have just what I call a storage room, so it's meant for more particular things, maybe stuff meant for after the flood, things they want to take with them, things for planting and farming when they arrive. But it's sort of, again, more than just the regular food and water, but it's maybe just supplies that they want for later, or during the voyage so they can access it and get it. But again, just a general storeroom. Again, these I typically have on the opposite side, facing, for example, the kitchen or the pantry is the opposite side, facing the commons area, because again, you would go over there, get your stuff, prepare it, then go back and have your meal. So those are the kind of my three utility rooms. All right, for the pantry or kitchen, we'll start with putting a pillar in the middle here. We're going to knock out these two sides here. We're going to put these beehives along the bottom row here. They kind of look like drawers or shelves here. And we're going to have cupboards sort of designated by these barrels along the side here. Oh yeah, and we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to put our beams across here and make our walls. The one difference here, I think we're going to do a solid wall across here. We'll put our spruce plank blocks between here. And then we're going to put some cupboards up top here. Same as along here. Like so. And actually next we're going to do, about right here, we're going to do two crafting tables. We're going to do, these are the sort of the bookshelves where we're going to have them opposite each other like so. And we're going to put some of these oak signs along the edges here, all the way around. All right, and then we're going to put some of the oak trapdoors here. And on top of that, we're going to put two of these sort of leaves, like so, leaf blocks here. Now we'll take the spruce trapdoor and we'll put that on either side here, on top of our leaf blocks. Oh, if I can fit like that. So again, we have the sort of upper part of this sort of island here. Next, we're going to put rows of pots and composters here. And we'll put the trapdoors almost like lids over different ingredient bins on top of them. And to kind of show that they're held in, we're going to put a similar layer of oak signs around all of our items here. And maybe on top we'll have some hooks to hang things on here. And so but yeah, we shouldn't forget our wooden spruce buttons on the end, like here. Oh, maybe we'll put a spruce button in there, like that. All right, there's our kitchen slash pantry completed. Now for the workshop, we're gonna do something similar again. Put the posts across these parts here. Take out those in the oak planks. We're going to knock out these here. We're going to put vertical posts in with the spruce logs. Then we're going to actually kind of go ahead like this, and we're going to put a post across it, and then down like so. We have sort of a framed area like that. All right, now we're going to try to do the actual kiln. So something like, I believe that here, and we're gonna, it's gonna be tricky to that. So that, top of that will, and on top of that we'll have a flower pot. We could actually, looking at the other one, there's your kiln. And on here, the workbenches, we're going to put two of these smithing tables here, and then we're going to put on either side some dark oak, and we're going to put some dark oak down here, maybe one of these in the middle like that. Oh, and we forgot to put the logs, that sort of that arrangement. Oh yeah, and also on the back here, we're going to take out the oak or the spruce planks, and we're going to replace them with spruce logs to give a uniform look around the edge. Now what you can do now is maybe put up like some hooks, hang tools on them or something. Then we could put, I don't know, pressure pipes to look at worked on. Oh, that. The other thing we can do, we can actually place down some invisible item frames, and with these invisible item frames you can, I don't know, hang some tools or place them on counter like that. So next we can put an anvil or that here. We'll also put a coal bunker here for the kiln, or some sort of burnable stuff here, so that shoveled into there. I maybe even put like hooks, things can be fun. Oh yeah, the lantern back here, place down actually maybe here we'll put a lantern here, but and maybe they work on wood stuff here as well. Yeah, just various sort of odds and ends arranged. I know, to make it more, I don't know, possible anvil, we could make something that looks more like a sort of really old medieval anvil, which is simply a log with a chunk of metal stuck into it that you hammer against. So for to do that, we'd place that anvil with this, pretend that's iron, and then work bang bang. No, it's up to you. I think that's what. Finally, we're going to do the storage room, and this will be kind of similar to the living quarters. So we're going to start again, beam in there, put our plank blocks at the bottom and top. So break these. We're going to fill in the back basically completely with the barrels. We're going to take our, not there, our honey or beehives, not honey hives, beehive. Oh yeah, in the front, we're going to knock out the two ports here, take our logs, and like the living quarters, we'll frame the door, so put like that. Above that, we're going to put a fence post, kind of let it a little. Then we're going to do kind of like on the bottom where there's this sort of shelf on the quarters, except it's going to be bottom to top here. There's different ways you can do these walls. I've tried to experiment with different ones. I just thought this was more interesting than just being perfectly flat. And so, okay, now back in here, we're gonna put in shelves here. So we're gonna put shelves in like that. You could even possibly use the oak trap doors, but they always have some of that lattice opening gaps in them. So I think this. And then yeah, so you have the basic layout of your storeroom. Oh, I almost forgot. Put in the this here, and the curtain here. So yeah. Then you can again place down some pots and whatnot. Board here, organized, and then maybe put down some chests in different places around the room. And up here, you can. Yes. That. And maybe some hooks along the top here. Maybe here. Well, again, a general room meant to kind of store all sorts of jobs later. Yeah. You have your general storeroom. Again, decorated as you see fit, but kind of filling up with stuff. I almost forgot the wooden buttons in front of our storage room. Oh, and the wooden buttons over here as well in our shop. Don't forget the wooden buttons, they look cool. Now I thought I would basically give an overview of the layout I used for my interior decorating. Again, the color pattern is red is storage, yellow is pens, green is walkways, And over there you can see blue is living space. So that's sort of my general layout of how I arrange my interior. So again, you can see the ends on either end, the bow and stern, are for storage, and I have the walkways connecting to the stairwells. And for the bottom, this is the lower deck layout. For the bottom lower deck, I put storage underneath the stairwells because you couldn't go any lower, so I used that space for further storage. And then again, you would walk down the edges of the ship with the pens in the middle. And for sections, there's basically 6 sections and then a walkway in between, and then 6 more sections of pens. Again, these aren't just single pens, these could be any number of pens, but they sort of divide evenly with these sort of the main structure of the ship. We'll go to our second deck. Again, have our storage on either end, and we have from the stairwells, we have the walkways going around. Now this time for the second and third decks, the walkways are next to the sunwell on my build, and then the pens and living space are on the outside. So we have the pens here, another 6 sections, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on either side, the connecting section here, and then 6 more sections of pens as well. And then on our third deck, or my third deck, again, the walkways connecting the stair wells here to the rest of the ship, and then you have the pens. Here we also have the living space. On this side is where I put the sort of the rooms, the commons, and the utility rooms on the other side here. And the other difference is on the very end here, I have these half section of pens here, so I dedicated half of this section from the walkway to having places to store. And my idea is up here you wouldn't have the larger animals, you'd have the smaller types of animals, so you have a little bit more, again, less restrictions on how wide the corridors need to be for moving things around. So that's the kind of general layout. I'll now show you guys the interior, or what it looks like, the actual interior of my build, so you can get a better idea of how I arrange my interior decorations. All right, let's start with our lower deck. Again, the bow and stern have the fodder storage, and along each side I have my food and water storages. I have my walkways here down the length of the ship, as well as these sections that join, and this one's right next to the kind of the stairwell. Oh yeah, and underneath the stairwell at the very bottom we have these storage areas. So I've added in mine sort of like water storage down here. And if we keep walking down, oh yeah, the pens are also again split down the middle, and we have the walkway over top that you can go down for feeding. And we have our big pens here on either side. You also have these split ones, so you have 2 per section here on each side. And if we keep going down, we'll get to midship, which we have the other way that allows us to kind of cross the ship, as well as access our over pen walkways on either side. And if we keep going down to the other end, get to the other kind of storage for fodder and that, as well as underneath the stairwell. And so if we go up to now our second deck, very similar. Again, on each end I have my fodder storage. I have this is the doors to the Ark on this level here. And yeah, and again, you can put things here during the journey because it's again not being used at the time. And I also just kind of decorate about various like things that are being put places maybe temporarily as they're being moved about and used to feed animals. And you have your access point to your walkway over the pens here. On the second and the third deck, we have our walkways next to the sunwell in the middle. So you get, and your walkways have the most direct sunlight and gives you access to the pens from the sides as well. And again, like there, we have some split pens here. And if we run down midship, we'll also see another crossway here, so you can walk from one side of the ship to the other, and as well as access the over pen walkways here. I did it slightly different here on this build. I didn't have the sort of the paneling using the oak trapdoors to hold in the supplies, but I did that to have an extra layer of supplies here. But maybe I could do that, I don't know. It's basically just because you can't put kind of 2 sides of the block here with this trapdoor being in the way, but you can adjust as needed. And if we continue on down, we can see the other end of the ship is very similar, pens along either side, and we have the access point to the walkways and storage along the outside walls, as well as the fodder storage there. So again, that's the second deck. And if we go up to the top, third deck, very similar, although here we have access again to here to the moon pools, as well as kind of a walkway around here to the fodder storage. That, And then we can go again down these walkways that are next to the sunwell. And oh yeah, and here on the upper floor, I have an extra half sort of section storage for pens. Again, I sort of see the upper deck, at least in my build, as a place where they store kind of the smaller animals and birds and stuff. So they're all sort of in these big cages, and you can put lots of little animals together potentially. And then you have these sort of sections with these cages like so, and the food storage with them. And you can run down again to the midship. Now it's a bit different here. This is where our living space is. So we have again, on this side, we have our commons area and 2 rooms on either side. So this is where they sleep and live. And I have the utility rooms. I have the pantry and kitchen, the workshop, and the sort of dedicated storage / warehouse here. And that's how I laid out my living space. So yeah, you sort of, this is your midship. You have the kind of greatest point of access to all the ship, and then you can, I don't know, have access to all the amenities that you brought with you. But that's there. And if we keep going, again, very much similar, lots of cages and pens all the way down. And then here I did a bit of a different thing, almost like a little, I don't know, a workstation bench thing here. And then again, more storage on the walls and fodder on the ends as well. Yeah, so that's how I laid out the interior of my Ark, and I hope this gives you some good ideas to help with your layout. And that concludes my Ark interior build tutorial. I hope you all will find this tutorial helpful for your own Ark builds. Feel free to give any suggestions in the comments for future builds or tutorials. If you like this tutorial, give a like. Farewell.